He knows I'm alive.
Royal guards became alarmed after Prince George suddenly remembered a name, hidden inside palace records for nearly 15 years. And according to one palace servant, Prince William reportedly went completely silent the moment he heard it. The incident reportedly began several days after Prince George attended a private royal memorial event inside Windsor Hall. Witnesses claimed George became visibly distressed after hearing an old piano composition once performed during a forgotten royal ceremony many years earlier. According to palace staff, the young prince appeared unusually withdrawn afterward. That same evening, one servant allegedly overheard George whispering a single unfamiliar name repeatedly while standing alone near the palace window, Evelyn. At first, most staff assumed the prince had overheard the name somewhere during the memorial preparations. But over the following weeks, George reportedly began mentioning increasingly disturbing details connected to someone he should never have known existed. One palace tutor later claimed George absent-mindedly sketched the same countryside estate repeatedly across several notebooks during lessons: a burned staircase, a large iron gate, and a crest no longer recognized by the royal household. Then during a private dinner, George reportedly shocked several palace staff after quietly asking, why did they erase her family from the portraits? According to insiders, the room immediately fell silent because nearly 15 years earlier, there really had once been another aristocratic family closely connected to the crown, a powerful family many believed was quietly rising in influence inside royal affairs, until one winter night changed everything. Official palace records stated the family died during a devastating fire at their countryside estate. The tragedy was ruled accidental, but according to former palace employees, rumors surrounding the incident never fully disappeared. Several retired servants allegedly believed the fire had been orchestrated by a senior royal advisor determined to eliminate political rivals within the monarchy. A man known inside palace circles as Lord Ashford. According to whispered accounts, Ashford feared the family's growing influence near the crown and viewed them as a threat to his own ambitions. Weeks after the fire, Ashford reportedly rose into one of the most powerful advisory positions within the royal household. And over time, discussions surrounding the dead family quietly vanished from palace conversation altogether, because officially no survivors had ever been found. Until Prince George reportedly began remembering things nobody his age should possibly know. One afternoon, Royal Guard Oliver Grant allegedly discovered George standing alone inside a restricted palace archive corridor. Witnesses claimed the prince had been staring at a damaged family portrait hidden beneath protective cloth. When Grant calmly asked what he was looking at, George reportedly replied, "That was before he betrayed them." According to Grant, the statement immediately unsettled nearby staff because George had never previously been shown the portrait, and hidden beneath the cloth was the lost family standing beside several senior royal figures nearly 15 years earlier. But what truly disturbed palace insiders came moments later, because, according to one witness, George quietly pointed toward the youngest child in the photograph and whispered, "That's me." Several staff members reportedly assumed the prince was joking, until George began describing details connected to the fire itself: locked doors, smoke inside the nursery wing, a woman screaming his childhood name repeatedly through the hallway. According to palace insiders, George later claimed he remembered escaping through a servant tunnel before losing consciousness near the estate gardens. And although no official records supported the story, Oliver Grant reportedly became increasingly concerned after George accurately described parts of the destroyed estate never released publicly. That was reportedly the moment Prince William privately ordered palace security to reopen sealed archive files connected to the fire. Several historical documents allegedly disappeared days later. Retired palace employees were quietly questioned, and according to one former servant, Lord Ashford abruptly cancelled multiple public appearances without explanation. But the moment that truly frightened palace staff reportedly occurred several weeks later. During a private archive review, witnesses claimed George suddenly froze while examining one of the recovered estate records. Then quietly stated, "He knew I survived." According to one palace employee, the room went completely silent afterward, because hidden inside the recovered document was a handwritten note dated only hours after the fire, a note allegedly written by Lord Ashford himself, containing just one sentence: "The child was never found." But according to several palace insiders, that document was not the only thing recovered from the sealed archives, because only days after Prince George claimed he remembered surviving the fire, royal guards allegedly uncovered a locked wooden trunk hidden beneath Windsor Hall. According to one former employee, the trunk had remained untouched for more than a decade, and the only reason it was found was because George himself led Oliver Grant directly to it. When Grant asked how he knew where it was hidden, George reportedly answered, "I used to hide there when they argued upstairs." Inside the trunk, guards allegedly discovered burned family photographs, damaged letters, and a child's jacket stitched with the initials EA. But according to palace staff, the most disturbing item was a cassette tape hidden beneath the trunk's false bottom. The tape carried a handwritten label, "For the child if anything happens." Prince William reportedly listened to the recording privately later that night. No official transcript was ever released, but according to one servant who overheard fragments through the office door, a woman's voice could allegedly be heard saying, "If he survives, never let them change his name." The sentence reportedly unsettled palace staff almost immediately, because by then, rumors had already begun spreading through Windsor Hall. Rumors that Prince George had not simply remembered the tragedy, he may actually have survived it. Several former employees later claimed parts of George's early childhood records had always remained unusually restricted under royal confidentiality orders. At the time, most staff assumed it was normal palace privacy surrounding the future heir. But after the recovered tape, some insiders allegedly began questioning whether those records had been hidden for another reason entirely. And according to one palace tutor, George's memories only became more disturbing afterward. During a private history lesson, the prince reportedly froze while staring at a painting of a countryside lake before quietly whispering, "That's where she hid me from the smoke." Investigators later confirmed Evelyn's destroyed estate had once contained a private lake, matching George's description. But the moment that truly frightened palace insiders reportedly happened several nights later. According to one palace maid, George was overheard speaking alone inside his bedroom shortly after midnight, then quietly saying, "I know you lied about my death." The following morning, Lord Ashford unexpectedly returned to Windsor Hall after weeks away from public appearances, and according to several servants, the atmosphere inside the palace changed immediately, because late that evening, palace security allegedly searched Ashford's private office. Inside a hidden drawer beneath his desk, investigators reportedly discovered an old brass estate key damaged by fire. The key matched records connected to Evelyn's destroyed estate, but beside it, guards allegedly found a burned photograph showing Lord Ashford standing outside the estate only hours before the fire, and written across the back in faded ink were 6 chilling words. "The heir was supposed to disappear. If you enjoyed this royal mystery story and want to hear what happens next inside Windsor Hall, leave your theories in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more hidden royal secrets and emotional palace dramas.